Hi. Now, of late, I've been seeing a lot of talk on social media regarding structural developments which have been happening in the Mara. There are lots of construction happening, and this one is having effects on generally the environment and the wildlife around the Mara and also the wildlife population. So today, I want to speak to a few guides and tour guides and find out what they think about it. So I'm just gonna go and talk to those guys over there and find out what they have to say about this because they have been in the tour guiding industry for long, and I'm sure they might have seen the changes happening over time in regards to human activity and also the dispersal area and the wildlife corridors shrinking and shrinking. And I want to just get their views on the effect of this in terms of wildlife numbers and also the general conservation efforts. So I'm just gonna go and talk to a few of them. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good morning.
You're good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you. I want to ask your opinion on the development that have been happening in the Mara. There are a lot of structural developments. Some of them are commercial. Some of them I don't know. There have been construction along the riverbanks and along the rivers. Some camps have been constructed on the riverbanks, and the people have been talking about it for so long that this is actually interfering with nature and also interfering with migratory corridors and routes, and also there have been we've witnessed shrinking dispersal area for wildlife. So you guys, what do you think? Is it going to affect generally the general population of wildlife in the Mara?
Um, it's actually not going to affect, it's already affecting. Basically, one of the main challenges has been with the breeding grounds, especially of rhinos, leopards. Loss of habitat. Actually, we are pushing these animals to extinction by far in the coming years. Yeah, that's the main threat. Once we start squeezing these animals into one into restricting their movements too much through the blocking of corridors and such, we are looking also at the gene pool.
Yes.
It means over the years the gene pool will get weaker and weaker. So that's a problem also. Also, the production, yeah, the reproduction of the animals, yeah, it's also significantly going down.
Yeah, because you've talked about gene pool. I remember when I started working, I used to see wildebeest as far as Wasonyiro when we were coming to the Mara. But nowadays they barely get to past Sekenani, and the conservancy is just beyond Sekenani. That is a big threat and a big worry in terms of the wildlife numbers in the reserve and also the general ecosystem of Masai Mara. What about you?
Uh, Basically, the same case as you have said. Let's say like a decade and a half ago when I started working, we could see the plains used to be all open and empty,
Black.
dotted black and green with bushes.
Yes.
But as you can see, as years are unfolding, day in, day out, we are now dotting those plains with concrete
Yes.
and iron sheets. So once that starts happening, demarcation now starts happening. So you find those corridors are still becoming now limited day in, day out. And that is to say now we are pushing the wildlife away. We are pushing the wildlife away from their habitat.
Yeah, the natural habitat.
Yes, and now we, the human beings, are acquiring and settling in those habitats. So what happens is now the wildlife that used to give maybe birth annually, they will be giving birth maybe after every 3-4 years. So that means the number of wildlife is coming down.
Yes.
As I remember the year 2007, 2008,
Yes.
we could count millions of wildebeest. But as this year 2025 happened, the number of wildebeest that came to the Mara, they couldn't even get to 1 million. They were very less.
Actually, just hold on your thought there, because you've talked about something that I was talking about last week, and some people are disputing it. Because there's a new report, there's a new scientific journal which was published in. There's a new scientific research which was published in journals all over the world, regarding wildebeest census. And people are disputing the methodology used, and also they're disputing the numbers. So the report said that the numbers of wildebeest is now like half of what it used to be. Because traditionally, from 1970s coming onwards, the numbers that we've been used to is 1.3 million. And now the report is stating that the wildebeest are about 530,000 only, almost half the number. So do you think that is contributing to that?
Yeah, that would be one of the major factors of the number reduction. Even though back in 1988, we lost almost like about 400,000 through reader pest. But although the number also tried to recapture, and the number became a little bit higher. And that is why, as I said, in the year 2005, I witnessed almost 3 million wildebeest around. Or even if it is not 3 million, it was a higher number.
Closer to that, yes.
Yes.
Something nearer to that.
But this year, 2025, I was in shock.
Yeah.
Because we used to witness migration between mid-June all through to mid-October.
Yes.
It only happened for a month or even a month and a week.
Like this year, it was like
I don't
close
think
to 4 weeks only.
I don't think even it lasted for 4 weeks, a month. No. So that is to say, we human beings, I think we are the only wildlife that is living in this world that is supposed to be extinct, not the other way around. Because we have seen so much of upcoming camps and lodges, all of them in areas where we used to find or we could call breeding grounds. If you look at all these riverbeds, all the way from where the Tarik River enters the reserve until where it drains its waters into the Mara River. 7-8 years back, we used to have not more than 5 camps. At the moment, we have more than 30 camps along that riverbed.
Countless. Some of them you don't even know.
I don't need, actually, you tell me to go to some camps, I will ask you, do you have the Google map? I don't know where they are. But basically, we have more than enough camps in this reserve.
In short, you're saying that apart from the natural process of, let's say, global warming, which sometimes you may not control, human activities have also contributed much to wildlife population reducing.
101%.
Yes.
101%.
Actually, that is worrying because when you look at tourism and conservation, they go together.
Yep.
We conserve for tourism. And tourism is one of the biggest foreign income earners for this country. So if we don't conserve, then we are going to lose tourism. And then if we lose tourism, we lose revenue. And then when we lose revenue, our livelihoods are going to be at stake. So what should you advise conservationists and also, you know, the tourism practitioners in general in terms regarding conservation and also environmental conservation? I mean, wildlife conservation and environment as well.
I would think everything starts with you.
Yes.
For me, I would suggest first we do with environmental conservation before we go to any other.
Yes.
All these camps that are there, the ones that are lying on the migratory corridors and the ones that are lying on breeding zones and corridors, those ones should be kicked out. We should do away with them. 2, all these rubbish that we are having all along the reserve entrance and all that, those small villages, I think we should do away with that. We don't need villages just next to the gate. So one thing, when you're coming into the park, it is an eyesore. It is an eyesore. Then from that, we will now start dealing with the migratory corridors that is in between the reserves, the Mara, through to Serengeti, through to Gorongoro, and so on, Amboseli and everything. We try to open up those corridors.
There's another factor of population growth and also migration of the humans coming near the reserves. We've noticed that in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of population increase near the reserves, and people are constructing commercial properties near
The main
urban
entrance.
areas or even hamlets near the game reserves and the national parks. Now, do you think that the population increase is a big threat to wildlife safety and also?
Yes, yes. Because, for instance, where we are, there is no any wildlife that will come close to us. Once we got here, even if there was a warthog around, it has already moved out. So that happens the same. Once you start constructing permanent structures, don't expect any wildlife to come close to there.
Yeah, because
So
yesterday when we were coming into the Mara, one of the tourists innocently was mentioning, are we getting into the Mara or we are getting into a city in the Mara? So I was like, no, this is just the Mara. It's only that, there are businesses coming up, even though it's a big threat. But now, what do we do?
yeah, I think who has failed us more is the county management. The county management has failed the reserve and the tourism players and stakeholders. Because once they around the construction of permanent shopping centers just next to the reserve, that was the start of the killing point of the reserve. So if they want to revive the Mara Reserve and its glory in those back days, they need to do away with all those permanent constructions. They move them out.
One thing we all agree that we need to bring back the wilderness vibe, because there's no point in boasting of our reserves when there is no authenticity or wilderness authenticity in whatever you're seeing or whatever you're selling. So all tourism players, I think you've heard what they've said, that everybody needs to take action and also voice your concern regarding conservation, because if we don't conserve, what are we going to sell as tourism stakeholders? And also citizens of the country, you also need to be aware of wildlife conservation and environmental conservation in general, because we all live in the same environment and we all share the same ecosystem with some of this wildlife. So what is the point of having all creatures gone and then only humans left? Well, the world is not going to be a good place. So if you are a tourism player, take action, do something. Thank you. Kata.